Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Meteorologist Taylor Stephenson, and I'm here tracking the cold weather for today. And this cold weather is going to really be starting to usher in throughout the afternoon after we did have a little burst of snow, grapple, and some rain this morning, and it finally just tapered off within the past 30 minutes to an hour. So right now I'm pulling up radar for you, and you can see that radar is excuse me, very quiet at the moment. As we continue to progress through the day, this will start to clear out even more. So be prepared for just a very, very cold afternoon, but we will start to see some peaks of sunshine throughout the day. And that sunshine will help to keep us just a little bit at least brighter. I am starting to see some improvements from our area that are showing that we're seeing just a little bit of some of that sunlight coming through. So I'm actually going to go back just a couple of graphics, and you can see that we have lots of very thick cloud cover. A lot of times we can't see the cloud cover because we don't have the sunlight yet, and with satellite you need the sunlight to see that cloud cover. So now that we have sunlight, you can see thick cloud cover all the way from Raleigh, North Carolina, up into Hampton Roads, and then into the Delmarva Peninsula. But look into central Virginia. Right now we're seeing some pretty clear skies, and those clear skies will continue to filter into Hampton Roads as we progress through the next few hours. But just some rain lingering here in parts of North Carolina and our coastline. Otherwise, any snow we got, the accumulations were very minimal. And you can see that here from our sky view, from our Thompson Creek Window Company sky view, that it is just a little bit breezy, but any snow we did have earlier is now gone. So progressing through the rest of the day, like I said, we'll see increasing sunshine. And I'm about to pull up another camera so that you can see the sunshine. I'm going to walk into the studio for a little bit so you can see just the sunlight starting to move in for us here in Hampton Roads. So 1 second as I get that pulled up, because Hampton's starting now to see some breaks in the clouds. So if you see now from one of our Hampton cameras, this is Chamberlain, and you can see that there's much more clouds and much more cloud cover than there is sunshine. But at least we are starting to see some breaks in the clouds, but winds are going to start to pick up. Right now, temperatures on the other side of the water at the Norfolk International Airport, we're sitting in the lower 30s, and we are seeing winds right now sustained north 20 to 25 miles per hour. So it is a very breezy day for us. And that's one thing I didn't want to mention. We have a few alerts, one of them that just started and the other that is going to start later on this evening. And one of them is specifically for the fact that we do have some higher winds. So I'll show you that graphic here. So right now, here's a look at our wind alerts graphic. And this wind alert for us is now a wind advisory for the eastern shore, for Virginia Beach, and for the Outer Banks. You can see those tan colors there, and that is going to be for winds that are sustained 25 to 35 miles per hour. But then we can have wind gusts as high as about 20 50 miles per hour. And then for other places around the area, we will see some wind gusts as high as about 40. But in that tan color, we're going to see wind gusts as high as about 50 miles per hour. And then that lasts from now through 7 a.m. on Monday. So another round of some very windy conditions. The other conditions I wanted to show you was the cold weather advisory. And that extends all the way through the entirety of Hampton Roads and northeastern North Carolina. That's going to go into effect in the next about 6 hours. So 7 p.m. today until 9 a.m. on Monday, we can see wind chills as low as about 4 degrees. I have seen some of the models suggesting that we could have wind chills as low as about 3. So very, very cold temperatures on the way for us here as we progress through the upcoming night into early tomorrow morning. Just very cold temperatures, the coldest air we have seen all season. And so that's why we've issued a weather impact alert for tonight into tomorrow for the Arctic air mass that moves in through the course of the evening and sticks around through Monday morning. Now, the main impact will be bitterly cold wind chills, as I just showed you. Wind chills as low as 4 degrees, but area-wide, the wind chills from at least about 10 p.m. tonight till about, I would say, 7 a.m. tomorrow will be anywhere from about 4 to 10 degrees. So area-wide, a very, very cold evening and morning for us. And that could also lead to a risk for pipes freezing here in Hampton Roads. So what you need to do is take your cold weather precautions. That means, of course, wearing multiple layers tomorrow. Keep your body warm. In temperatures like these, it's very easy for us to see that impact of potential frostbite because prolonged exposure, especially on exposed skin like your fingers, ears, and your face, could develop frostbite very easily in these colder conditions. And these type of Arctic breakouts can strain heating systems and increase the risk for frozen or burst pipes, especially for outdoor plumbing, crawl spaces, and older homes without adequate insulation. So just be careful of that. Also, remember the 4 Ps outside of pipes. Remember, we have people, pets, and plants. Making sure that your vulnerable populations, whether that's your neighbors, you want to check on them, make sure if they're, elderly or may need a little bit more assistance, checking on them and seeing if they have heat. Also, for those who may have pets, if you have a pet that's more of an outdoor pet, bring them inside because they are also vulnerable to the cold. And then for your plants, also make sure that any plants that are susceptible to the cold and are potted are brought inside. If you have plants that are susceptible to the cold and they're in the ground, you may want to have a little bit of a tarp over them just in case. Now, in this community, we have a lot of people who do work outside. And so if you are traveling or working outdoors early Monday morning, or even if you're traveling late tonight, because I know a lot of people don't work a traditional 9 to 5 shift. Some people may work 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. or 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. So if you're one of those people who kind of catches yourself in the middle of this cold weather event and you're outside, just make sure, again, you have multiple layers, hat, gloves, and limited time outdoors. But we should have sunnier conditions as we get into Tuesday and slightly warmer, even though temperatures will remain below normal. So let's walk you through the coming hours of what to expect here in Hampton Roads and northeastern North Carolina. So here's a look at what to expect for the rest of the day after we did have some of that snowiness going on here in Hampton Roads. But again, very light, if to no accumulation at this point. But you can see by 3 p.m., we're going to see temperatures continuing to fall, upper 20s and lower 30s for the peninsulas, lower 30s and mid 30s for the south side and southeast, northeastern North Carolina. Getting to the rest of your day, you'll see that temperatures continue to drop, teens and 20s area-wide by 9 o'clock. And then we may have a few base streamers. And for those who don't know what that is, that's these, I'm going to do this. We're going to zoom it back here. So it's these little pockets of snow that you can see that are going off of the bay from these northwest winds. Those cold northwest winds over the relatively warmer bay waters actually can develop some snow showers, and those may track around the eastern shore right about here. So there may be a few streams, some few bay streamers coming through the course of the night into early tomorrow morning, but you can see tomorrow morning temperatures start off in the teens and 20s, but because it's so windy, that's when we start to get these really big wind chills. And again, for those who may not know what a wind chill is, I think a lot of people have heard of feels like or real feel. That's the same thing. Wind chill just is for the winter time or cold weather that takes into account the air temperature and the winds. We also have our heat index or heat indices, also it feels like temperature that we use on very hot days. So for the wind chill for tonight, as you see, even by 7 o'clock, which is not even that late in time, we still have feels like temperatures around 5 to 10 degrees for the peninsulas. As you get to the south side, 8 to 12 degrees. And then for northeastern North Carolina, anywhere from 9 to 16 degrees. So even if you are having dinner plans or anything like that, it's still a very, very cold night. And that is when our cold weather advisory goes into effect at 7 p.m. this evening. Tracking you through 10 p.m. tonight, temperatures will be in the single digits area wide for feels like temperatures. You can see feeling more like 6, 7, 5 degrees there across portions of the viewing area, continuing overnight with single digit wind chills. By the time you're heading, for most people, heading out to work around 7 a.m. during the heart of the work commute, in the morning commute, you'll see feels like temperatures anywhere from 5 to 10 degrees. So it will be a very, very chilly night for us here. By the time we get to the afternoon, so this is right around lunchtime, still feeling very cold, but at least it's a pretty big improvement, rising about 15 to 20 degrees when it comes to the actual feels like temperature. So it's going to feel more like the teens and 20s. Still a very cold afternoon, but at least we're out of the single digits. And even though highs tomorrow will be in the mid 30s, it will feel more like the mid to upper 20s as the cold air just continues to sit over Hampton Roads. Now, over the course of your December, we have had a very cold start to the month. And I'll show you that here with our calendar that we keep track of. So for December, we've only had 2 days that were either near or above normal. That's shaded in the gray and the red. So on Tuesday, December 2nd, and on Saturday, yesterday, we were near or above normal. Every single day after that, we have been below normal. And today will mark another day below normal. Tomorrow will mark another day below normal. Tuesday will mark another day below normal until we finally get some real mild temperatures back into Hampton Roads this week. And here's a look at that temperature trend over the coming 10 days. And what you'll notice is that we'll see temperatures rising each and every day by about 10 degrees each day. Mid 30s for Monday, mid 40s on Tuesday, mid 50s on Wednesday, lower 60s Thursday, and we kind of stay in the 50s and 40s as we progress through the end of the week. And then next week, starting on Sunday, that is Christmas week. So we still don't get the warmest stuff, but at least it won't be brutal cold like it will be for today. And you can see that in your 5 to 7 day forecast that It's going to be a very first cold night of Hanukkah here in the United States as temperatures drop throughout the day. We've already hit our highs. The temperatures for today, that was around 45, 47 degrees. That was earlier this morning, and then dropping throughout the day. By the time we get into the evening time tonight, temperatures really went the single digits, but as we progress through Monday through Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, each and every day, we really start to warm up. And then on Thursday, our next chance for some wet weather arrives then as well. Now, I want to go back to our cold weather alert here to show, again, what we are expecting for Hampton Roads and northeastern North Carolina. And in any area shaded in blue, which is throughout Hampton Roads, even for those who may live in Hampton Roads, but you commute to Richmond, or those who are in Elizabeth City and commute to Hampton Roads for work, everywhere will feel brutally, brutally cold. And I want to pull up what the Weather Service has to say on this, too. So pulling that up now, they give like their forecast discussions, just kind of like we do on our webpage. But here's what they're looking at. So they're saying that obviously a strong low pressure system in the upper levels of the atmosphere will bring an Arctic front that already crossed through. We already knew that. As expected, we saw a little bit of some light snow, but temperatures will continue to drop after sunset. Breezy conditions will continue overnight, especially in the east, so our area. Lowest tonight will be in the mid-teens for inland Virginia and North Carolina, and then upper teens into the 20-degree range around the coast. Wind chills will be in the single digits for the entire area in blue. And they were just saying the cold weather advisory they issued for the area remains unchanged as the forecast still stands. From Monday into Tuesday, the Arctic high pressure behind the front builds in, and so it will be chilly on Monday afternoon, but it will be sunny and less windy. So that will help a little bit during the afternoon, but it still will be very cold. And then by Monday night, we still will see temperatures for lows in the low to mid 20s. But temperatures start to get a little bit warmer under sunny skies and high pressure on Tuesday as we climb back to the 40s. And then for Wednesday through Saturday, we have a huge warm up. And another weaker front comes on Thursday that could bring some light rainfall. But that's about it. And of course, when it comes to the water, we could see, for those who may be working on the water later on today or tomorrow, they're expecting gale conditions. So a gale warning will be in effect later on tonight as conditions will get choppy. We could see seas building up to about 6 to 10 feet on Sunday night, and waves in the bay 4 to 7 feet. So very choppy waters there in the Atlantic. Again, this is a look at that cold weather advisory. And then here's one more look at our Arctic air mass that's moving in tonight into tomorrow morning, December 14th and 15th. Again, main impacts will be just the brutally cold wind chills that we have in place. And then we also will see the risk for pipes freezing. We want you to make sure that you are taking all the precautions you can to keep yourself and your property safe overnight as these temperatures plummet. And what you need to do is take your cold weather precautions. That means bundling up, wearing multiple layers. But again, all this does start to really drop throughout the course of the day today, as we are seeing winds already picking up, and I'll show you that here too. A look at the winds that we have now. You can see recent wind gusts around the peninsulas, 25 to 40 miles per hour. Through the south side, same deal, 20 to 40, 41 there in Cape Henry. So very, very breezy, especially around the coast. And for the Outer Banks, wind gusts as high as about 25 to 30. 35. So very cold temperatures. Weather impact alert continues, and we are just expecting the coldest air of the season to arrive here tonight in Hampton Roads as this huge Arctic blast takes over the deep south and the mid-Atlantic. So we're not alone in this big thing, in this big deal of this Arctic air mass moving in, but it is just going to cause us to have bitterly cold winds. So again, making sure that you are protecting yourself, your pets, your plants, your pipes, and of course checking on your neighbors and other people during this time. Meteorologist Hunter Forrest will have more on this Arctic blast as it moves in tonight. He'll have more here on 13 News Now Plus and 13 News Now at 6 p.m. and 11 p.m. For now, I'm meteorologist Taylor Stephenson, and I'll see you tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. tracking the really cold temperatures we have here in Hampton Roads in northeastern North Carolina. Try your best to stay warm. See you later.